Peace and blessings, and welcome to my channel. I'm Aaron Glenn, a private personal consultant, and also an advocate for mental health awareness. With my consultancy company, I help people start and launch their own online business. I'm all about passive income online, and if you're looking to make passive income online, you're in the right place. But today is just about putting some positive vibes on you guys' timeline and give you guys some encouragement to end this weekend. We just wrapped up the 4th of July, Independence Day, America's birthday. Not sure if you guys celebrate, but let's chat about that for a bit. What are you guys' holiday traditions? Or for those of you who don't celebrate holidays, what are some things you do on holidays? Just curious to know, what people be doing on these days. Also, how you feel about it all. Came to a realization the other day. I was thinking about the mindset of the world, the mindset of especially where I'm at in the States. I just was thinking like, wow, look what we celebrate. We celebrate, of course, our freedom, but we're born free. So how could we ever not be free? It's a choice. People choose to start wars. People choose to, have conflict. And the whole, well, overall, people die for us to be free. That's all I'm really saying. If you really think about it, like, how can you celebrate that? How can you every year just normalize blowing things up and polluting the earth? It's where we have to live. There's so much smoke in the air. We already get chemtrails. And it's like, wow, people talk about these things, but nobody really actually cares to make a difference, to do something different. So when I hear these things now, since I had that moment the other day, I look at it like, just same ways with the Diddy trial. These people saying he was doing this, doing that. So why were you doing anything to change it, but allowing yourself to be a victim? I applaud Cassie for speaking up on, the injustice, because no women should be getting beat on, no man should be getting beat on, nobody should be getting hands put on them, period, especially if you're not deserving. Now, I'm not saying that you won't be reprimanded or consequences won't come. Be mindful of how you dealing with people too. You fuck around, find out. And it is what it is. But I don't condone violence. It's necessary, yes, but I don't promote it. I love to listen to rap so I can get my violence out like that. Talk a lot of bullshit, hear a lot of bullshit, but I know how to separate the difference between the two. Music in my life, entertainment in my reality. So it's just something I wanted to say, like, wow, I just look at how careless and how unaware people is when they're burning up things. They're shooting fireworks at people, hurting and harming people, and it's all funny games. It's all for entertainment. And it's like, people burning up different things out of smoke in the air, we could barely breathe. The chemtrails, all the chemicals coming down on our food that we eat, and the lungs that we breathe, this air that we're supposed to have, contaminating the waters. It's just like, wow, we really fucking this world up and fucking ourselves up in the process. And it's so normal to think like, oh, it's just something we're celebrating for whatever reasons. And I was just like, wow, I'm really not feeling it. I'm really not going to put it. I like seeing the fireworks and stuff, but overall, the whole thing, the conditioning of the mind, the brainwashing of what's cool and what's not is really starting to make more sense to me on why I don't do what I don't do. People wonder why I don't participate in a lot of things, and it's the way that I see the world. And it is what it is. So this is my way of making a difference. And also, a lot of people so lonely because a lot of people so phony and a lot of people weird. So I like to stay far from that. I like to be out of the mix. People watch you, they think they know you, and they'll come around trying to befriend you. They fake like they want to help you, but then at the end of the day, it's like, a motherfucker will drain you. So you got to be careful who you engage with, especially the people that want to partake in these certain activities. But nevertheless, here's the word for the day. Today is July 5th, 2025. Draw near to me with a thankful heart, aware that your cup is overflowing with blessings. Gratitude enables you to perceive me merely more clearly and to rejoice in our love relationship. Nothing can separate you from my love and presence. That is the basis of your security. Whenever you start to feel anxious, remind yourself that your security rests in me alone. And I am totally trustworthy. You will never be in control of your life, circumstances, but you can relax and trust in my control. Instead of striving for a predictable, safe lifestyle, seek to know me in greater depth and breadth. I long to make your life a glorious adventure, but you must trust me to guide you through it. stop clinging to old ways. I am always doing something new within my beloved one. Be on the lookout for all that I have prepared for you. Psalms 56, verses 3 through 4. And yeah, I'm reading from something, I'm not making this stuff up. What I'm reading from is Enjoying Peace in His Presence by Sarah Young. And what I'm also doing is this word is for me as well as for whoever want to come enjoy these words that I put out on a daily. It's just a powerful message, what I'm doing is totally different, and it's all right. People see my process different because I'm doing something that they haven't done. I'm doing something different that I haven't done. So I don't know how it's going to turn out. And just like the Lord said, don't worry about that shit. I'm preparing you for something that I have for you. Trust in me and chill with me and just learn my ways and know that I got you. And that's what I've been doing. I know God got me. I get my daily bread every day. I'm cool with just that portion, and I'm grateful. That's why I'm always in position to be all right. And I don't worry about the external. I co-create with God on the daily. I create these positive experiences for myself, and that's what I focus on. People will be like, "Oh, what you went to, what you doing?" And it's not progressing as fast as I think it should. But I don't give a fuck. What I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing for my life and my journey. This is my marathon, and my marathon continues. A lot of people will hop in your journey and want you to tear this way or go that way or try to convince you that this way is better or that way is better or they know what's best for you. Some people might have good intentions, and yes, they may have a way for you to succeed a little quicker. But you know what? The race isn't given to the quick. It's given to those who stick with it until it's finished. You can run so fast, trip, stumble, and fall, and then you be out of there. You be exhausted. Exhausted. It's a lot of shit to come with this. But the thing is being true to yourself and what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm gonna read this back one more time because it's real in season message. And another thing that I want to share with y'all, which is an in season message as well, it just wrap all this stuff up. As far as where my spirit goes and what I'm into and what God has for me and how I'm being led to what's for me and how I'm receiving what's for me with no worries or getting my daily bread and also sharing my daily bread because that's what God does for us, for His children. Whether you're a sinner or a saint, we all eat. He makes sure we all straight. So God isn't like a physical person who just looks at the things you do good for Him. He makes sure you're straight and you have what you need for the day, whether you appreciate it or not. And I had some powerful videos I watched the other day about people having life-death experiences, not believing in God. That people who died and came back to life. I usually don't watch these things, but for some reason I was led to them the other day. I watched a man's story and a woman's story. Two totally different people died totally different ways. I didn't finish her story. We could get into that, but with him, he had hate in his heart. He grew up in a racist town and racist times, and the whole thing about it all was like, hate is something that can kill you, whether you're acting on it or not. But you holding on to that shit, it manifests in your body and it takes you out. He had a heart attack one day, high blood pressure, stressed out, and carrying a lot of hate for everybody. And on his way home, he died. And then, he learned from that. Like, he got a whole new perspective on life, how to interact and engage with people. Like, hate is the number one killer. And hate is the number one thing that people promote all throughout the day because they want you to take yourself out. And you see how the blind leads the blind, and how people think it's so cool, and this is the way of the life. This is a new age, new generation. This the new trending thing, right? But to be hating on somebody, especially with the Diddy case, and it brought out a lot of haters. It brought out a lot of people that really showing how they feel. A lot of people don't want him to have anything. A lot of people want to see him fail. A lot of people want to, take his position. I was trying to say two words at once: position, inspired, whatever, right? But it's just conditioning, like, oh, let's go hate, whether he guilty or not. I don't care. Everybody has their day. Nothing goes under the sun unseen. Nothing stays in the dark for long. Everything comes to the light in its own timing. And I'm not here to judge nobody for whatever they do. We're all sinners at the end of the day, whether you thinking of it or whether you actually acting on it. It's no different. But the thing is, like, to be cool hating on a motherfucker, that'll kill you. And you harbor that hate in your heart for so long, you can either have a heart attack, you can have somebody who hate back and hate harder, and take you out. It is what it is. But it was a really powerful message on the topic of hate, racism, and how it's cool to condition your mind to think everything aligned with what you truly want to believe as far as how you can hate on somebody and how you should justify your hate for them. And at the end of the day, it builds itself inside your body to where it really takes out the parts of you that needs to be working to live. It takes a loving heart to keep pumping. A hateful heart won't pump as good as it's supposed to because it's cluttered with all of the. It's just like a river that flows natural. It don't flow natural when you have debris in it, rocks, sticks, and stones. It's the same way with your heart. When you have hate, unforgiveness, and you have malicious intentions, that clutters your flow, clutters your heart. It clutters your mind. It clutters the way that you're supposed to be succeeding in life. And it's easy to find somebody to hate with you. You can team up and be haters or whatever and justify it any way you want. I'm just here to remind you that those things are nothing of the kingdom, and those things are nothing that's going to help you live a successful and a satisfying life. But check this out, and we're gonna get into everything else. And just hold on, I got some little shit going on that I didn't want to be sharing. Um, and what that is like with my business, right? Like I got a creative mind. A lot of people watch you, they want to steal your ideas, they want to fake fuck with you and do it, but whatever, right? It's just me protecting my peace because I don't get to help with what I'm doing, but a lot of people will want to fuck with me and want me to fuck with them and, make their priorities mine. But where's my help? So that's why I said that this ain't for everybody not right now because there's some shit that I'm working on that I know ain't nobody gonna help me on. And I don't want nobody in my way fucking it up for me. So that's just it. But check this out. So
Today, we have a very special story about a little red hen who works hard to bake until the bread is ready. What will happen next? The little red hen. Once upon a time, in a charming little farm, there lived a hard-working red hen. She loved her cozy home. But more than anything, she loved to bake.
Wonderful day! I shall plant these wheat seeds, and soon I will have delicious bread to share.
But planting wheat was no small task. So she went to her friends for help. She walks up to a playful, fluffy dog rolling in the grass.
Woofy, dear friend, will you help me plant the wheat?
Oh, planting? That sounds like too much work. I'd rather nap in the sunshine.
Though disappointed, Little Red Hen didn't give up. She knew that hard work always led to great rewards. So, she fluffed up her feathers and walked to find another friend who might be willing to help. She walked and saw Whiskers the cat sitting on a wooden fence, grooming his soft fur.
Whisker, will you help me plant the wheat?
Oh dear, digging is for paws much stronger than mine. I must keep my fur clean.
Little Red Hen sighed again, but she wasn't ready to give up just yet. She decided to try one more friend. She goes to Quackers the duck near the pond.
Quackers, will you help me plant the wheat?
Oh, no! My webbed feet were made for swimming, not for digging. Can't you see how lovely the water is today?
No one wanted to help, so Little Red Hen planted the seeds all by herself. She watered them, cared for them, and watched them grow tall and golden. When the wheat was ready to harvest, she asked her friends again.
My dear friends, the wheat is ready. Who will help me cut the wheat?
Me? Oh, no. My feathers must stay clean for swimming. Cutting wheat is not for me.
Oh, cutting wheat. That sounds exhausting. I think I'll stay right here and rest.
Oh my, all that dust. It will be terrible for my fur. I simply cannot.
Once again, no one wanted to help, so Little Red Hen harvested the wheat all by herself.
Who will help me grind the wheat into flour?
I'd rather take another nap.
So, once again, Little Red Hen had to do all the work herself. Though tired, she didn't give up. She mixed the flour, kneaded the dough, and carefully placed it into the oven. The kitchen filled with the warm, sweet smell of fresh bread. The scent drifted outside, tickling the noses of her friends.
What is that delicious smell? That smells delicious. Can we have some?
Oh, but who helped me plant the wheat?
Not us.
And that's how it is in life. I know this is a cartoon illustration or whatnot, but at the end of the day, it speaks volumes. A lot of people are run from the truth, and that's just what it is. But it smells. People can smell success on you. They see it, they hear it, they smell it. Now they want to be a part of it. But the thing is, you have a vision. Don't let nothing stop you. Don't let nothing sidetrack you. Keep planting those seeds and keep nurturing your dreams. And that's why I pulled this out to show you guys how anything is possible. You're not going to have all the support that you want. People are not going to see your vision. Not everybody is going to understand what you're trying to do and why you're doing it. But it doesn't matter, right? Because the end result is success. Success smells good. It looks good. It tastes good. It feels good. So on and so forth. But it's all about doing things that you haven't done before, being uncomfortable. You see how one friend just only about comfort. Another friend is all about self-preservation. I don't want to be seen supporting you. That was the cat. And another friend is just like, oh, well, you asking too much. My time is more valuable, which really, whatever you do with your time is what you do with it. But your time is valuable. But at the end of the day, if you want to be a part of somebody's success, you want to be a part of their time. You want to be a part of their struggles. You want to be a part of it all, the part of the journey. But let's continue and carry on, and you guys can, see what it's like to be comfortable and see what it's like to plant seeds and see what it's like to trace dreams and see what it's like to do something different and how everybody will preserve and, how they see what you're doing is different and how they either want to partake or they either want to escape. And it is what it is, right?
Not us.
Then I shall eat it all by myself.
And so she did. She enjoyed every warm, buttery bite. From the Whiskers and Quackers learned an important lesson: the joy of working together and the rewards of hard work. And so, on the little farm, they all lived happily ever after, baking bread and sharing the delicious rewards of their teamwork. The Little Red Hen teaches us a valuable lesson: hard work and responsibility we can share in the rewards together. So always be kind, helpful, and willing to lend a hand.
Identity is often a response to trauma. People build identities not always out of passion, but out of protection. The overachiever who's always busy may have grown up believing love had to be earned. The helper who's always available may be afraid to ask for help themselves. Cells from past betrayal. Nietzsche's idea was simple. People create meaning out of suffering.
You suffer working alone, on your journey alone, but people find meaning out of that. People create meaning out of that. And everybody's suffering don't look the same. The little hen was running around, not depressed, not complaining, just doing what he or she was doing, suffering, all of the work, exhausted, still moving forward, steady going, chasing that dream, steady progressing through the process, right? And that's what life is about. It's not about being comfortable. It's not about overexhausting yourself, but it is about taking breaks, like you seen her doing or he doing. I don't know if the thing was a he or she. My bad. It didn't really say. It don't really matter. Well, it does, but it don't. People nowadays don't even know if they're a boy or girl. So like, it is what it is. I ain't trying to be funny or talk about no. But to create, right? Something I created. I want to share with y'all. Like opportunities, learning this stuff. It took time to learn, just like the little hen. Who taught the hen how to? Who taught the hen about things? You'll never know the time the little hen took to and how just not following your dreams, also following behind the wrong people. But check this out though, really really quick. This is move this. These are my videos I was making as far as what I'm talking about now. To go about in a successful way. I listen to a lot of philosophy. Seeker of truth. However it comes, however it's presented, and that's what I'm talking about a lot on my channel. It's about truth and seeking what's true. A lot of philosophy goes down into the truth of things, like getting down to the nitty gritty. That's why I like to watch this type of stuff and learn from this type of stuff, to help evolve as a person. This type of stuff helped me out a lot. I'm just thankful that I could be able to learn this stuff, to be able to come to me, that I can learn it and share with others. shit. My bad, my bad. I had to tend to my plants. Thought I had time to do everything and get back to what I got going on. But unfortunately, I don't know how long I had to wait and what up. But yeah, just like the little hen, you got to tend to your crops, B, or this shit ain't gonna be nothing. It takes time, and it's a tedious task. But it's part of my vision. You know, I got a vision. And my vision isn't for the next day. It's lining stuff up throughout the year. Like what I'm doing with this is so I can have something for my birthday in October, and also so I don't have to spend money that what I spend money on now that I could use to give my son a Christmas or some cash or whatnot. You know. So this is how I'm prepping myself so that I can be in position when the time comes. It's about having vision. I'm living in the present, but also I'm doing things for the future. I'm presently aware of what I need to be doing in this present moment so that I can have things for my future. So this is what it takes, you know, just like the little hen, like you wanted something. Of course you might want it now, but the things that it takes to get it, it may not come right now. You gotta have a little patience. And that's what comes with having a vision. The hen wanted bread. The hen knew that you had to grow crops. The hen knew that the crops would take time. The hen knew that you had to not only grow it, but nurture it, and not only nurture it, but chop it up, you know, get the fruits off of it, and so forth and so on. But nevertheless, it's like, you know, it's a process. These processes sometimes don't happen overnight. Sometimes these processes are years long. And sometimes it just depends on how long you're willing to go with it. You know, a lot of people give up too soon. Sometimes the process is doing things you haven't done before and learning how to do them. The process varies for different projects and different people depending on your styles of learning. And that's why I really want to get into this next segment so you guys can figure out the mind of people and how people learn and how you need to learn yourself on what ways that works for you, whether it be visual, audio, or hands-on. Also having the courage to be who you are. And this right here would really help you guys to take that leap of faith and have the courage to follow your dreams. Everything I do is systematic and everything I do makes sense. And if not, then you know how to separate yourself. You know, everything don't make sense to everybody. So that's my advice to you. If it ain't adding up, subtract. But nevertheless, let's get back to this and hopefully you guys enjoy and get something from this because this is why I do it. You know, it's educational purposes only and it's also educational experience.
Let's jump into it.
These primitive forces, there are 18 of them. I call these primitive forces human nature. And so they're actually governing your behavior and they're governing other people's behavior. You don't know who you are. You walk around in your world and you're kind of sleepwalking. You assume you have an identity, an opinion, an image of yourself that is actually somewhat false. There's something else going on inside you.
This may be the last ad you ever see. When
And suffering is a part of life. Not saying that we are not going to have our sufferings and not that our sufferings are meant for us. People will make you suffer and put you through shit. And it's just about that spirit while you're enduring your suffering, you know, to be steadfast and know that it's a moment in time that will surely pass. And that's how you get through shit, you know. Some things are very hard and tough, but nevertheless, they will and do pass. And the thing about taking the actions on your journey to living your dreams, change is inevitable, but the transitions are shortly lived. So just remember that change is going to happen. It's bound to happen. Just like the sun going up and coming down, that's inevitable. It's going to happen no matter what until the end of the earth. So with that being said, while you're waiting on changes, just know the transition of it happening doesn't last long.
Law 10. The law of envy. Beware the fragile ego. Every time a friend succeeds, I die a little. Envy is the trickiest and most elusive of all human emotions. To decode envy, you must become a master of human nature. You need to be able to distinguish passive envy from active envy before you can understand its nuances. We all suffer from envy from time to time as we unconsciously observe the people around us and feel that they may have more in life than ourselves. The need to compare may motivate some of us to excel. For some,
But what he's saying is very deep, very dope, and very powerful. You know, my sister, Team Angie, who I dedicated this company to, who I try to keep her memory alive, she had a profile page called Envy Me, and she was way beyond her time. And, you know, this is one thing that just reminded me of my sister, you know, and the mindset that she had years and years ago when she was 16 years old, you know. It's just about how you spend your time. Even as a 16-year-old, spending their time elevating their mind and self-development is crucial, you know. And this is just a reminder of it don't matter what it looks like in life, it don't matter about a lot of things, but it does matter on how you spend your time and the time that you spend on the things that you entertain and that you be entertained by. You've been entertained by knowledge like this, it'll help you get through certain stuff and it'll be seen like, which to me was like, it seemed my sister was way ahead of her time because the way that she spent her time elevating, evolving mentally, spiritually, emotionally, however, at a higher stance than what I was at. And it's not to compare or compete, it's just to learn how you can spend your time evolving. Because we're gonna time gonna pass no matter what, but it's what you do with it and it's what you be mindful of your of what you're doing, you know. To want to have a future but not to be so far in the future that you miss the present moments and the present opportunities. And not also to be so far in the future. I mean, so and vice versa as far as people who live in the past, you know. You be stuck there missing the present moments.
however, there are more extreme forms of envy. If people are actively trying to sabotage your projects, your career, or your relationships, then you're dealing with a dangerous, envious person. Signs of envy. It is difficult to detect subtle signs of envy, but if you pay attention, you can detect them. Micro expressions. It is the eyes that are the most accurate, so you should pay more attention to it. The envier will momentarily look by accident, but a dangerous envious person could be lurking into your life. The Schopenhauer method for eliciting envy. Tell suspected enviers some good news about yourself, a promotion, a new and exciting love interest. You will notice a very quick expression of disappointment. The tone of voice as they congratulate you will betray some tension and strain. Equally, tell them some misfortune of yours and notice the uncontrollable micro-expression of joy in your pain, what is commonly known as schadenfreude. Poisonous praise. Beware of people who give you confusing and paradoxical praise. They will find ways to praise you, but mix the praise with sarcasm and offhand remarks, which are designed to make you feel uncomfortable and make you doubt your abilities. Backbiting. Gossip often serves as a cover for envy, a means of venting frustration through sharing malicious rumors and stories. If you happen to hear of a negative story spread about you, that should have enough impact to raise your awareness. A sign of active envy could be the fact that your friend feels the need to vent his or her underlying hostility to a third party rather than keep it to themselves. secrets and weaknesses are often in the best position to act upon as the best way to wound the people they envy. Envier types. Here are 5 common varieties of envious people, how they disguise themselves, and how they attack. The leveler. Levelers are always on the lookout for injustice and unfairness in the world. Despite their ability to put others down, they do not easily take a joke at their own expense. It is their goal to bring everyone down to their level of mediocrity. Levelers cannot identify or value excellence in anyone. Be aware of these people. Individuals will try to make you feel guilty for being ambitious to try and cover up their own ambitions to succeed. Levelers are people who want to bring you down when they see you rise above them. The self-entitled slacker. People today rightfully feel entitled to success and a good life.
I'm gonna just keep my thing up, but yeah, let's talk about the envy real quick. And we see it with 50 Cent, and I'm gonna just use him as an example as much as I can because he put himself out there like that. You was working with PD back in the day, writing for him or whatever, right? Just because you're a writer and you don't understand the game and you feel finesse, or maybe you have been finessed, that's a reason to start envy. Or maybe because you want to write for him because you're thinking, oh, he'll, or whatever the case may be. I wasn't there, but from what I hear him saying and what I see him posting, or maybe even faking it like this is what he did, but I highly doubt it. It's a sign of envy. Sign that somebody wants your place and they want you to be on their level. That's why he put out posts like, and even the bodyguard that was a PD, he's like, oh, I hope he rock and woo woo woo. You know where that comes from. Of course, everybody should be, and everybody will be getting their karma. They're gonna get what they deserve when it's time, and it's time is going to reveal itself in time. But when it's time for that person, that's what they're going to deal with, and it's not for you to be, trying to make that happen for them, because at the end of the day, God is our judge, and God knows what we're doing and what we don't do, even the thoughts that we think that we haven't done. It's just like you got to control your thoughts, you got to control your jealousy, you got to control the envy, and trying to bring people down to your level because you don't have the courage to chase after your dreams, or you don't have the patience to wait till it comes to fruition. But it's a real telltale sign, a real red flag, and it also destroys dreams, it destroys families, it destroys nations. That's why we went to war. That's why we just celebrated the 4th of July, from envious nations against envious nations, and people wanted to control, wanted someone to be on their level. I mean, the stories are cute, the stories are cool, but at the end of the day, the underlying factor is someone was jealous of another person. That's why this whole thing was going on. Even these wars to the day, it's all about envy, and we're going to get into what else it's about as well, so that you can pay attention and know the signs of these type of people, and you can know how to interact and respond, if necessary at all, because it's the mindset. The people that have this type of mindset are low vibrational beings, and this is what they thrive off of. Not every person is a child of a light. That's why they believe in Baphomet and all this and that, because that's who, their father is, and they're going to please their father no matter what. And it is what it is. You want to make your father proud, whether it's something negative you're doing or something positive, depending on what ways you were brought up into what you were brought into.
But they recognize that they will need to sacrifice their time and work hard. Self-entitled slack, plagued by narcissism and insecure about their own abilities to get what they want. Keep an eye out for those who prefer to maintain their positions through charisma rather than by putting in the hard work to get things done. The status fiend. Humans are very sensitive to their rank and position within social groups. Status for some people, however, is more than a way to measure how sociable they perceive themselves to be. Status fiends will ask you about your income, whether you own your home, and what type of neighborhood you live in. It is common for such types to demonstrate their status in an opposite direction, portraying themselves to be monk-like, but in reality, they secretly yearn for the luxury they cannot afford. When you're around this type of envier, try to hide or at least downplay anything that might trigger envy. The attacher. These types are attracted to the successful or powerful, not in admiration, but out of envy. They will do anything they can to make themselves useful, but they lack their own purpose, and they want to get some of that attention and success the high achiever is getting more than them. The insecure master. For some people, having a high position increases their insecurities. They fear subordinates who may possess more talent than them with an envious gaze. They may fire people for strange reasons or discredit your outstanding projects. Keep an eye out for signs of insecurity or envy those above you. Envy triggers. While certain personality types tend to be more prone to envy than others, you should be aware that certain situations can cause envy in just about anyone.
This game, you're not ready for it.
Older people and people whose professions are fading tend to have a fragile ego and can easily feel envious of others. When a woman achieves high levels of success, other women and men feel inadequate, leading to jealousy and animosity instead of appreciation. In order to deflect envy, it becomes even more important for successful women to play the humble card. The best way to deal with an envy attack is to control your emotions. As a result of social media, envy is more common today than ever before. We all have a low level of envy within us, which can be exacerbated by reading something or seeing something that makes us feel insecure. Envy, neighbors, or peers in any type of group. Considering that our brains cannot stop comparing, we should redirect this mechanism into something constructive and creative. Humanness is to be admired. Admiration is the opposite of envy. We acknowledge people's accomplishments, celebrate them without feeling insecure. Engage in downward comparisons. We often compare ourselves with people above us and we become envious. Instead of always looking upwards, look downwards from time to time. Compare yourself to people who are lower than you socioeconomically, not in a superior manner, but in a way that gives you gratitude for the things that you do have. The experience of getting pleasure from another person's suffering is closely related to envy. Instead of simply congratulating someone on their success, you should instead attempt to actively feel their joy. Try to feel what they must be feeling in their moment of success. Practicing Mitfreude increases your ability to feel this emotion in relation to your own experiences. Law 11, the law of grandiosity. The gods are merciless with those who fly too high on the wings of grandiosity, and they will make you pay the price. Throughout history, humans have had a deep need to consider themselves important. We get a little bit of success.
Now, it's a crucial word, a crucial thing he just said, and I don't want you to miss it. I'm going to run it back a few seconds. But before I do so, the gods envy those who, have the high ego, even with the gods themselves. And I'm going to give you an example. I'm not into Greek mythology, but it's important to know different, you believe it or not. But anyway, so with the gods was having their wars or whatnot, and one guy, he was a builder, a master builder, and he was told not to build something for someone, which he did anyway. And for that, his consequence was to be stuck where he was at, him and his child. And they were stuck there building for years. He got tired of it, so he and his son decided to build wings to fly out of that prison they were in. He was successful in doing so. He got happy with doing so. The son got happy with doing so. But here's where the problem lies. Freedom came, yes, but with the price of, I'll tell you, the ego. The son had an ego to where he was so happy to fly, he kept flying super high, and the father kept warning him, son, stay low, but don't stay too low to where you fall in the water, or too high, because of what he was trying to tell him. The son not listening, he having fun. He get to flying too high, and the sun burns his wings, and he falls into the water, and he drowns and dies. And that's the price we pay for pride. Even the guys don't like it. And I'm gonna run it back again, and I will play that video for you guys. Or any Greek mythology you want to know, because I don't know the name right now at this moment. But the gods are merciless with those who fly too high on the wings of grandiosity, and they will make you pay the price. Is exactly what I was saying. You know, they ran from their consequences only to have more consequences, to lose your son, from not dealing with your punishments in life. You can't run from things.
Grandiosity. And they will make you pay the price. Throughout history, humans have had a deep need to consider themselves important. We get a little bit of success and we let it go straight to our heads. We feel superior to others. There's too much from reality, we become grandiose. Seek out signs of excessive grandiosity in others and in yourself. Grandiosity has become exponential. Following factors. The number of people who receive pampering attention as a child is greater now than ever before. A growing number of people are showing little or no respect for authority or experts in general. And social media is amplifying grandiosity. We allow the attention of others to inflate our egos, and social media gives us almost limitless capabilities to expand our presence and to create the illusion that we can attract thousands or even millions of adoring followers to us. More than anything, it is social media that spreads the grandiosity virus. It is possible for people with high levels of grandiosity to attain positions of power if they also possess some talent and assertive energy. The grandiose leader distorts reality to fit their perceived greatness. Here are 6 common illusions grandiose leaders like to create. To portray themselves as destined for greatness. The stories they tell about their childhood and youth, common man or woman. Public figures must present themselves to the public as representatives of the average citizen. A grandiose leader's trick is to put emphasis on their cultural tastes and not the class that they were raised in. I will
That's gonna be it for today. If you like stuff like this, you know where to find me at. I'm all about making money online, and I'm all about mindset. So this will differ from time to time on what I'm passionate about. These things to me go hand in hand. So it's what I would advocate for. It's what I'll be talking about, and it's what you will learn on my channel. But you just see why, like, it's important to have a certain mindset when you're in business, when you're in life, period. And how not to take everything so personal, and how to stay focused, because the marathon continues. But it only continues when you start one step. Once you take that first step, then you can continue and get It's all about getting started first, right? You can sit there and think about some shit and want some shit, but if you never go for it, you'll just be waiting on that one day, that perfect moment, or you'll be swayed by external sources that'll keep you stuck where you are and never take action. But nevertheless, you know where to find me. Peace and blessings. And if you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share this video so they can reach more people.